Tuning into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's similar epic music
I
to
love
Shannara.
It has an epic intro.
Do you guys recognize the song, viewers? Come on, play
It was in the episode.
Yeah.
Just saying.
They sped it up maybe later, but wait for it. Yeah.
There we go. As we see Will, galloping through the forest.
Yes. Here, I'm riding a horse. What
All right. Well, welcome to officially the season finale of our AFTERBUZZ Shannara Chronicles after show.
Yeah.
This
Yay
was
and sadness.
This is Yay and Sadness. It's for episode 10, Ellcrys. So yeah, this is sad. It's over, but it's also amazing, and it was so much fun. So we're just gonna get right into it. Okay. So who do I have with me? My lovely
am
self.
Veronica Gabrial. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Veronica on TV.
And I'm Heather Gardner. You can find me Twitter and Instagram, HeatherGTV.
Hey, how's it going? You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at Kari D. Lane. That's Karidlane. And Facebook at Kari Lane Actor.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Maria Cavassuto, and then on Snapchat at MGCVSST. So yes, let's dive right into it. Okay,
There's lots to talk about.
There's lots to talk about. Okay,
There
so
is.
first of all, we open up with this blood fire thing. Amberly talking to herself, kind
Let's
of.
say a vision
Sort of.
herself.
Yeah.
I thought in the beginning that it was like gonna be her mom. 'Cause
That's
she's
what
like,
I did too.
I've been
That's
looking
her
for you.
mom.
I've been dreaming about you. And then it's like, oh, it's your twin.
Yeah.
Do you think it just took her form to be a more relatable thing to talk to?
Probably. I mean,
Yeah.
or also so she could see in that image kind of her own journey and what she
Yeah.
needs to do, kind of, so that she found it more relatable. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
That's why
that's
I
a good
thought.
point.
But man, Ellcrys Amberly gave her some eyebrows. She's like, no.
She was very serious. She was not playing around.
Yeah,
It was
she's like-
human Amberly.
Yeah.
Or elf Amberly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it was funny actually. Carrie mentioned, she was just like, "Do you see these eyebrows?" Because we were watching it together, and it was just like lots of movement,
Expression,
very
yes.
much like
She's like-
Khaleesi in Game of Thrones also gives
Oh,
some serious
yeah.
brow
Yeah.
action.
Yes,
If you
she
guys-
does.
She's like, are you effing with me right now? Like, that was her look. She's like,
Yeah, it was
serious?
it was very much like that. But she makes it out of this blood. We realize, well, we don't realize, but we find out that she's actually going to have to sacrifice herself.
Okay.
hold up.
I don't understand. Like, she had the seed, and then all of a sudden it's like, you don't have the seed, you're the seed. Like, what? Could they not have told her that in the beginning so they didn't have to go on that freaking
That's what I was
journey?
saying.
Heather,
Why
you
did she
can't
go
do
all
What
the
in
way
the
over there?
world?
Heather, you can't do that, otherwise we don't have a show. Like,
No, we could have. It could have just been the seed.
well, yeah, but I think it's much
No,
more
but
symbolic if it's her and it's
They
like
talk
she has
about
to.
it. Well, because I'd say Alan, he
Yeah.
kind of mentions.
But why
they
did
couldn't
she?
tell him.
But why did she have to go find the seed only to realize it was her?
I mean, I think also the seed is a way to test her. You know how
Well,
it's in the
technically,
it was in the tree and she had to like battle like, the will and
yeah,
like
that's the
herself.
only part of the show that mattered where she was getting the seed is going into the tree.
Yeah.
Because she still had to go to the fire to, like, you could look at it as a cleansing thing, too.
Right,
Yeah.
I guess.
So,
or a
we still have
basting of
show.
sorts.
So it's just the only part where it was a physical object that it mattered was
Yeah.
when she did the self-exploration in the tree.
Yeah, which I think that's why it's a little bit.
It's
that's
just
why I
actually
still
a
have it,
tiny
yeah.
part. So
And,
it's not
and maybe
really-
I mean maybe like that's exactly how the story is. They think it's the seed, and then it gets there, and it's like, oh no, it has to be me. So like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was
and
a
all of a
symbolic
sudden,
thing to hold.
yeah,
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Maybe like hold on to it. See if you can even hold on to it the whole way you get there. What if she would have lost it? Who knows?
yeah. So at least there's a backup. She is the backup. But meanwhile, on the outside, so back inside like the safe hold chapel church thing, Will obviously having a super intense moment about losing Eritrea and whatnot and crying.
Totally needs to figure out who he loves the most.
I know, this is pretty frustrating to me. I'm like, look, okay, it's just not. It's not. I guess it is possible, but it's just like there's always someone you like better. There's always someone.
Well, he is a half and half, so you know it's appealing to his different sides.
He's very torn, but I feel like if he loved Eritrea, he would have like told her in the section that we will talk about.
True.
Yes.
But
I called it.
She did. Carrie called pretty much everything. She did.
It was like spot on.
She did. So Will reanimates Eritrea with the stones.
It's like the what are those devices called when they electrocute people to bring them back?
Paddles?
The
defibrillator.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, well, bam! She's back.
we all had our hands up doing the motion.
That's what it is. I just don't know what it's called. Clear. That's right.
And then it turns out, Amberly does come back out, and the Ellcrys kind of warns her that, her feelings for Will kind of got in the way, because she's like, no, I don't want to sacrifice myself now. It's good on Earth with those sweet lips.
Yeah.
It's good on Earth with that man, with that blonde half-seas.
Go Eritrea for stabbing her hand again to open it.
Oh, no, right?
She's like, hold on, I got this. And I'm like, ow!
I'm already stabbed. I can just put my hand on it again.
Yeah,
It's okay.
It's cool.
But thankfully, and they start trying to at least like exit. She doesn't tell them right away about her reveal, or the Ellcrys' reveal.
It's hard to explain.
It is. It's very hard to explain right now. So let's just run. Let's run away and forget everything.
And yell when the trolls.
Oh,
She'd be like, guys, we need to run. Like,
I think at that point though, they knew they were done already. It was more like, But
I have another gripe. Are we at the point? Are we with the gate yet? Is
Not
that
yet.
what
Okay,
we're
we're
getting
getting
there.
to
Okay.
that.
Well,
We're
we'll wait till we get there, and then I have points.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, well, actually, that's the next thing. So it turns out, like, they're running through these tunnels, and then they see this gate. At first, they can't get it up, but then when they finally, get it up, which sounds funny. I can see Carrie's face from over here. She's just like, Maria.
We're not at that part yet, okay?
We'll get to that too. But okay, so they get to the other side, but now they can't pull it down. So Eritrea kind of like sacrifices herself, gets to the other side, smacks, the chain in a very like, I don't know, like a very 300 way.
Oh, yeah,
In the
for
way
sure.
she did, it was very like, yeah. And she's like, I'm staying. This is my part. This is the journey. And then the trolls start arriving, and then she starts killing them very badassly. Now,
yes.
Okay.
Heather,
She
share with us.
the only thing. She's like, I'm buying you time, and then there was all this time where they're just like, no, don't do it. Yes, I have to, but you can't. I love you. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, you guys could have been gone by now. Like, what's going on? And then the trolls come, and they're just standing there like, oh, our friend. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, now we're gonna run.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
talked
noticed
about
that
that
too.
too. I do love
Get
that
it
when
together, heroes.
I love when Al-Anon tells them to run, they run. But then when Eritrea's like, run, they're like, oh,
What?
hold on.
Okay,
But we need to watch a little
That's what I'm
first.
saying. I'm like, you need to go. Otherwise, her sacrifice is in vain.
Yes, you need to get it
We're
together. I
with you
agree.
on that. We're with you on that one.
No, I agree with you guys. I mean, like, just get it together, start going, figure it out later. And you
Yes.
know what? Yeah, she's just playing her part in the journey. I mean, and hey.
I love that her character stepped up though.
Yeah.
Like it was finally time for her to take action and realize
She's
that
good
this is
fighter.
her time
Woo.
and like she's here for a purpose.
She has a very solid purpose. We see it, and she is a good fighter. And I think that's an awesome way to just kind of showcase that. But, she stays behind. It looks like she's doing well for herself.
Yeah.
No biggie.
For sure.
But she stays behind. And then they continue, right? So we have Amberly and Will, and they continue. And then they exit. They see some more trolls. End up taking those trolls' horse, and I think they start. They start galloping,
Yes.
galloping away, trying to get to Arbalon. So we're kind of like on this journey to Arbalon. But then, there's too much light. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna hide in a cave and confess our feelings,
And have
Of
sex.
course.
and then
finally.
and then do it,
Yes.
and then it
Finally.
gets up.
Yes. Well, of course, it's the standard. We're gonna die. We should have sex. Okay.
It's more
It's
like
like a horror movie. It's
more
like, guys, so what are we
Amber-
gonna do while we're waiting?
yeah,
They
Amber,
had time to kill.
exactly. They totally had time to kill. So what?
Eritrea's sacrifice did not matter then in that way, because then they get there and then they wait.
They
to
always
wait again.
do that with that poor child.
What did you guys think of, like, she decides to tell him right there that she loves him. So what did you guys think of that? Did you think that was good timing? Should she have not said that at all, maybe?
Oh,
I
no,
mean,
she's about to kill herself. I think she should have gotten something out of the deal.
okay, good point,
True.
Heather. What do
I
you
was
think?
gonna say, since she knows, which she didn't tell Will, but since she knows this is kind of her end, it's closure for her, and she wants to make sure she expresses her feelings instead of disappearing without ever telling him. So I'm like, yeah, no, it
Yeah, I
totally
get
makes
it.
sense.
Yeah, okay.
And then she acknowledges, I know this isn't the best time to tell you, but I need to tell you.
Okay,
No,
well-
I'm way more for the, you may as well say it and
Yeah,
get it out there
I
and there's
agree.
no confusion rather than...
Say it, but don't spray it. Just a word of warning.
That's almost inappropriate with that situation, too.
Oh,
That's
God.
like-
So I'm just imagining those MTV like cuts of the sex scene, like half a butt, half
sexy.
a thigh.
We talked about it.
It was.
Yeah.
They shot it well.
It was good.
And
It
edited
was-
nicely.
It was nice.
You
There
know
was
what
some
was happening.
flashing going on there.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that like hip connector part.
Yeah.
Like that was a
We knew what was happening.
body doubles, or you think they did it?
I'm sorry. They
Oh, their bodies are insane. Are you kidding me? No, they did it.
probably. I mean, they hire these people because obviously, aside from that they're talented and they do what they do, they're
look
also
good.
good looking.
Good looking, yeah.
So there you go. It's simple. It's like both things in one package.
Sure.
I mean, you don't have to look elsewhere. So they have the sex. They have the sex.
They have the sex.
Which was so funny that Amberly takes off everything but her like
Armband.
cuff
Yeah.
thingies. I like
There was
them.
no time, okay?
I like them. I don't know. So
It looks sexy.
Yeah.
It was good.
It
And then
does.
they cuddle.
they
Do
do.
you take off? Wait, okay. Personal question. Do you take off your jewelry though in the moment? Be like, oh, one moment. Let me just grab my earrings.
And my arm cuff.
I guess
I guess not.
You
It's
took
just like
everything
you
else
rip
off.
exactly, but I don't take. I mean, if I got a necklace, you know.
I mean, if it gets in the way,
Maybe if it was
it's
this,
going
there you
off.
go.
Yeah.
If
this
it's in the
necklace
way.
probably.
Yeah.
Your dainty
No,
little thing, no.
This is fine. This is totally
You're like,
workable.
No.
But if you got like these hoop earrings that every now and then are like smacking somebody in the face, or if you're getting caught in fingers, like we need to get rid of those. But anyway, so it gets dark, so then they kind of like finally make
She's
their
like, "I'm
way.
ready."
Exactly.
I like your hand.
Yeah, I kind of just went forward. I did a little swoop forward thing.
What are we? We're 13 now.
It's okay, but this is like, it was such a fun episode.
It
so
was.
I feel almost giddy. But so they continue on, and they get closer to Arborlawn, and they actually get almost in there. But actually, before we get into Arborlawn, because I want to talk.
Again, we're 13.
Again, we're 13. They get in there. But before we go to Arborlawn, I'm actually going to switch really quickly, and we're going to talk about the
Sure.
other people really quick, because then everybody's going to kind of converge.
converge,
So,
yeah.
So then we'll get to that in a second. But on the other side, so we have Alanon and Ander, and then also Commander Tilton.
Yeah. Called that one too.
I know. So Carrie called the Commander Tilton and Ander thing, which I think we all felt was maybe going to happen. And they have a little moment where they also get a little kissy.
They don't get quite as much action.
No,
But they
no.
got stuff way back when, so it's not like they hadn't before.
Yeah, we already saw them
Yeah.
do their
Yeah.
thing, so we're good.
Yeah.
So I very much liked that. I liked that they are. It was kind of like, oh hey, we're on this.
Yeah,
again.
I did too. And I didn't know that they had planned to get married.
That
Did
was a
anyone
nice
else know
little
that?
reveal.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, nice little reveal before.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so here's the thing. What bugged me, though, was Ander was like, I'm sorry it took the end of the world to realize how much of a fool I am. I was like, look, this line doesn't work anymore because, let's be real, she moved on to someone else. And
That's
had he
true.
not been dead, you would be alone. Sorry.
Yeah, where's her heart, by the way? It's been like 4 minutes.
It's probably
Well,
always been
she
with
always
Ander.
loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I felt. She
It's
always
just-
loved him. She just kind of went for second best.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe it's like, she's like, well, if I can't get the beautiful blue eyes, I'm just going to get the
Man
beautiful
bun.
eyes.
Man bun.
Man bun.
And the man bun. I know. You guys knew I was going to say.
I mean, there weren't any other elves. You had to go for the brother. I mean, well,
Yeah, I'm sure there was other sex. There is. Well, Alanon's not really available because he's a druid, but that would have been my choice.
And he's like 1,000 years old.
So?
so it makes him like. I'm like, so it makes him like vintage. Like he's a vintage dude.
Vintage
He's
model.
been around for a while. He knows the land.
Yeah.
He knows the land. If you get what I mean. He knows his way around.
He knows the lay of the land. Hope you're all enjoying
so
our
sorry,
13-year-old
everyone. I'm so sorry, everyone.
It's an MTV show, guys, so
It is
it's appropriate.
It is an MTV
Totally.
show. It is an MTV
Yeah.
show. And so they are kind of have to hold the fort a little bit because Amberly is not back, but the demons are literally at the gate. The demons kind of rallied together, and that army is massive.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it? 1,001? Is that what they said?
I think so.
Oh my
It's
gosh,
just
I didn't realize
and
Yeah,
there
those
are
were the odds.
there are elves. They have an army, so that's a horde.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually liked it better when they had their helmets on for the bad
Agreed.
guys, because there's the one occasionally in a shot where he had it off, and I'm like, it actually looks not that amazing, so I liked the helmet better, which is almost more ominous because then you don't see their faces.
Yeah.
So I wasn't thrilled with what they look like, but I liked them better with the helmet. Do you know what I mean? There's like random shots where there's the one demon guy with I forgot my helmet, guys. Let's go.
Sorry, guys, running late to the gathering.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, because there was one that like didn't have the helmet on, and I thought it looks much more ominous. It definitely looks like a faceless evil. It's so much more intimidating. So I liked it at first. I still liked it either way, but I do agree with you about the helmets. And the Dagdamor obviously looking as fierce as ever.
Because he should be the one without.
Yeah, he's the commander, you know.
Yeah.
He's just he's scary looking.
Plus, he's got his like jewelry going on that he needs to
Dude,
do.
the helmet gets stuck. Take it off.
Ooh, no. That's
Dude,
not.
I pull out t-shirts and I can get stuck, and that's like
Oh, no.
Couldn't imagine.
No.
Having all that.
That's incredibly unpleasant. But so we have this demon horde assembling, and then all of a sudden we have this kind of scene with Bandon, right? Because Bandon, with what happened in the last episode, he now is, unfortunately, sequestered to some sort of chamber. And Katanya comes.
Dungeon.
It's a dungeon.
Sure.
Yeah, and he's guarded by one guy, just one guy. It's not like he's that dangerous, guys. Just one guy's fine.
Doesn't matter. He's a palace guard. He can't do anything anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and then which we figure out.
Yes.
But so Katanya comes to visit him, and whatnot, and he starts freaking me out right away because I'm
Scary dude.
He's scary, but also his plan. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yep.
Did anyone have a problem with this plan of like, let's do this together? You just scream and we're gonna go for it.
I feel like she had no idea what was coming. So at first she's like, "Yes, I trust you," and then after she figures out that he's like holding her by the neck, she's like, "No, I want
hurt
out."
her. He hurt the other guy, just not her.
Yeah,
He
definitely
could.
not hurt. But,
But he could hurt her. You're right.
As soon as he's like, "Do you trust me?" I'm like, "No." Like,
yeah, well, that's what I thought too. I'm like, girl, how are you saying yes?
You ran away with your life the last time y'all were together. So
yeah, he literally almost choked.
Why is she even there in the first
Yes.
place? Call it a loss. Go find yourself another elf. There are plenty of good-looking ones.
yeah.
Yeah, I think she says like, "Oh, I'm here to see," kind of like
I
on
mean, she
official
could have
business.
done it
but
as like a form of closure, like gone to him, delivered
The
the
end
food.
of the world is happening. What kind of closure does she need?
She seems
sexual
to be
closure, apparently.
Yes.
That's what people do on this show.
Yes.
You have the sex and then you die.
Well, and then she's
Apparently.
also like she's never actually been in direct harm of the end of the world. It seems every time she's in a shot, she's just kind of like regular day-to-day life.
She's always in the
So
castle.
I mean, she could have gone and been like, "All right, that was kind of effed up. What happened? I love you, but this is not going to work. Bye."
Yeah.
But that could have happened.
It
but
could have
no.
happened, but
this
no.
is where I was like, "Oh, this is the weaker sex. Like the female was pathetic in terms of like, I love you," and you're like, "No, just say no."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just not. It's just not good. Because then once she kind of releases him and the plan is kind of happening, he gets really upset that the guard touches Katanya, which was kind of to
her.
move her out of the way, really.
Yeah, for safety.
Safety.
Yep.
And then he literally beats the crap out of him and then beats him bloody, like,
To death. I'm pretty sure
to death, like, and with that chain from the back. And I think Katanya at that point is like freaked out of her mind because that is like a violent person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
You
traveling
came up
with
to
you.
him. I
Does she really want to be with someone who's gonna kill people?
No, and
Probably
especially not like that because like the guy
Yeah.
was probably like dead or knocked out. You can easily walk out.
And it's totally your fault, sweetheart.
Yeah.
That really is your fault. Like when she's like, "Oh, I feel guilty." It's like,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah,
you are.
it's your fault. But then my question was like, so I guess he just left after that because we don't
Yes.
really. Then it's just kind of like, oh, okay, and then
Because
she,
he's our way for part 2.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
a horror movie of like that one thing that got away. And it's like,
Yeah.
and that's where we get our sequel.
yeah. But
We'll come back to
we'll
that.
come back to that. So now let's get into the battle, right? So we have the elves and the gnomes, and then we have the demons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very cool looking. It's very much it's in the dark.
Very
it's very
epic fight.
Yeah.
very
Good.
epic. It looked
Looked like
very
a lot of
cool.
work put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
Definitely.
yeah. And we're constantly like flashed to this sword, like I think it was the druid sword. It's the evil sword. The one that's like all black that it had been used previously. And actually, I think they were gonna Ander and Arion had used it with the Dagdamor, I believe.
Yeah.
And then
That was
somehow
the
it got
whoops.
left behind. Yeah.
We gave it to the bad guy.
We gave it to the bad guy, and in the wrong hands, it's very, very evil, right? So then we see this guy, with it, And
big looking guy. I must say, I was like, who's the big one? And then you find out, and you're like, I think you added some armor there to pad yourself up.
Right.
yeah, I'm assuming that's what I assumed, that it was like, okay, now this guy is, which we get revealed to, is Arion. It's almost like he came back from the dead and is in demon form. And for a second, I'm
Zombie.
like, no.
Yeah.
It was like a total zombie. I was like, no.
I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that could happen.
I didn't know that was
evil
part
magic,
of the war. Yeah.
Sure.
Well, how come the king didn't come back, and how come all the other people?
No.
This one had been
This
stabbed.
has been brought back,
right.
Because the Dagmor probably used him. Because this is the only one that died. He's the only guy that died in Dagmor's presence.
Yeah.
And he's an easy shell to use. Because the king didn't die of like, I need to use you, and then the changeling didn't need him, so that's why he didn't come
And
back.
also, the king
nobody
was
else came back.
old. Like,
No, I think it's just
no,
a shell.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, if you wanted to use any shell, you probably want the fresh one, not the one that's been around for like 70 years.
Yeah, maybe. I felt more like he died there, and then Dagmor felt like I could use this as a thing, as an object. And so he is a shell. That's why he's like the,
And then
set me
he's still
free.
in there, too. So that's a little weird.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it is very zombie.
it sucks because, like, the one person that goes up against Arion is Tilton, right? So it's just like, what? And then she dies.
It's like Serpent in the Rainbow.
Yeah.
It's
She hesitated.
Have you guys heard that?
And then she died.
no.
It's a book and a movie, Serpent and the Rainbow, and it's prior to like the Skeleton Key, and the idea is you did something to somebody and they appear dead, and so you would bury your enemies, but they'd actually still be alive.
Okay.
But like for all medical purposes, you would appear dead, and so it's like one of the early forms of how the term zombie and like that idea of what it is. So similar idea, like we think he's dead, and then we get rid of him, and then oh wait, you're not really. So
Yeah, it's almost like the
it's a really good movie.
It reminds me of the Sherlock Holmes movie that they did that in. You know, I don't know. Another
You
story.
mean the recent ones?
It was the older one. And then they pretended like the guy was dead, and he goes in the coffin, and then he's actually alive, but his heart stopped. So
Yeah.
Another story, another time.
No, totally. But I mean, that's kind of the
dead
situation.
stuff, but not really dead.
Yeah.
But not really dead stuff, yeah. And then, so Tilden.
But at least he was able to say goodbye. I did like that.
Oh, yes, but wait. So, so Tilton gets stabbed by Arion. But then Ander comes over and, he's like, obviously this is my demon brother, stabs him. And that's when he, like, kind of comes back to, like, normal. And that's when, you can
I was so happy that he could say goodbye. I mean, it sucks before
like,
because
"Release
he
me" or
didn't really
something?
get to say goodbye before. But
Right.
this way, it was like, please kill me. And then in a way, it was a closure for again, closure. We have closure and non-closure of this whole episode.
Yeah.
This one was non-sexual.
No.
Yes, that'd be
That
a
would
little
be
weird.
That would be very weird.
Stranger Things.
Just a little bit. It's just true.
No, yeah, stranger things have happened.
This is
but-
not Wincest. Anybody? With Supernatural? Anybody?
Oh gosh.
No, it's not. It's not that
I'm more
at all.
like, Destiel. I'm more Destiel. Team Destiel. That's
Okay,
Dean and Castiel. Anyway.
Alrighty then.
Sorry, the supernatural reference. Just kidding.
But
from the
I
show,
love that
yeah?
he didn't yell. Yes, the show Supernatural. I love that he didn't yell when his woman died, but for the brother, like he didn't have any sort of reaction to the commander dying.
I feel like it happened so fast.
Yeah,
that
that's true.
he
There's a
was
lot
like-
going on. There was
But
a
at least
battle.
they didn't do the dramatic.
Yeah, but also
in the same pitch.
Like Will.
but
Like
also,
Will does in every scene.
well, yeah, and he does this in this episode too. But like, also he's used to, I guess not used to losing her, but he has lost her before, so it's been like, hey, well,
true.
It's kind of like I think he got used to not being with her, so maybe it's like less of a shock. But anyway,
Plus, it's also battle, and they all knew they were probably going to die anyway. I mean, 1,001.
True.
Yeah.
yeah.
What are the odds?
And
Bad. That's what they are.
Will starts dominating with those with the elf stones. He starts, killing. Go for it,
finish the
Carrie.
sentence.
Oh, I was just gonna say he starts, murdering demons
He's
left
not
and right.
murdering them.
He's evaporating them.
Killing them. Murder is when you think it's a bad thing.
It is. Oh, I see what you're saying.
The word murder.
still-
Because it's the demons. We're like, no, he killed them. No, it's
Okay,
different.
well he
killing
annihilated
them.
them.
Yes, okay.
There we go. He annihilated the demons, left and right, and yeah, that was cool. And then he comes.
was
face,
nice.
It was very nice. But then he comes face to face with the Dagmor.
With the elf son, so I wanted to rewind a hair. I love that in this episode, remember how they keep talking about the elf stones and how much it takes out of you? He brings Eritrea back and nothing.
That is what I was going to say. That.
So wait a minute.
No, the whole series, the whole season, nothing happened.
No,
he
only
had the burn
once.
on the
only
hand.
once.
The hand
but,
burn.
But I will remind you guys of what Al-Anon tells him at the end of the episode that has it all make sense. So
Go ahead.
hold on.
Oh, you're going to come back to it. Okay.
I'm going to come back to it because, whatever. I will just say it now. So we all know, because we all watched the episode, that Amberly ends up going into the Ellcrys,
Yes.
right? But he says, like, I didn't know. He's like, I told you magic has a price. And he's like,
Yes.
well, I didn't know that it had to be paid with her life. So,
Yeah.
like, that's the price.
No,
of using the elf
That's
stones.
different. That's different.
I'm just saying. It is different.
iTunes people, Heather and I are both doing the
No,
same.
I know.
Fingers.
They're not liking me for this, but
But when regardless of Ellcrys.
no, I agree with you. It's confusing because he does the first time he uses it, his hand is burned, so it doesn't really make sense.
Okay,
He
I see
literally
what you're saying.
has nothing. But it's kind of like, if you think of it in the grander scheme, it's like, okay, that's what it was.
But they're
That's it.
separate. And the thing is like they talked in so much length in the beginning about how his dad literally went insane. Like not just like physical stuff, like
But
mental
it's different
stuff.
for everybody, and that's
agree.
what
That's
Al-Anon
true.
says.
But-
Al-Anon says it works differently on everybody.
But they're not connected. How come? Why would the price of him using it be her?
Because he
it-
loves her. That's like he's losing
But
the love of
but
his
whether
life,
the elf stones
I
were
think.
there or not, she would still have to go in the tree to save the world.
Yeah, no,
Elf
I
stones
think
are
I
not.
understand,
I
but
think
without
both.
those elf stones,
The
they might not be
wall
alive.
has been drawn.
I'm just saying.
I'm on both sides. 'Cause
No, I think without those elf stones, realistically, I mean, and not using them, they probably wouldn't be alive. So I just don't. I think like it's correlated.
I feel the elf stones are
know.
completely separate. Well,
I do.
okay, regardless of not feeling anything that happened after Eritrea.
I don't know if they're like related in that sense, like you're saying. I'm just saying it's like it's a way to kind of make it work mentally if you think about it the way Al-Anon says it.
So vague, but
God,
no,
Kari.
no,
No, I'm just kidding.
no, just because they made such a big deal. You use the stones,
yep.
but yes, they do affect you differently. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but
so there you go.
when bringing Eritrea back, I feel is a big use of magic to bring back
Oh,
someone
for
from the
sure.
dead. So at least
Nothing.
it could have been fatigued,
I
like
thought
drain
something
some
like that.
I
energy.
totally agree with you there because he's been using them kind of throughout, and it's like nothing's happened. I'm
Right,
just saying, like,
yeah,
way
yeah.
at the end, it's like, okay, that was
And-
the big pay. That was the big thing he had to pay with.
Yeah.
But I do think that there should have been more instances where you could see, like, where you could see him being
Yeah.
affected by them.
And then when he's doing the fight, I'm okay with him not being too drained doing that.
Yeah.
But he had a little bit like he was tired or something. I'm like, okay with that. And then when he fights Dagmar at the end, okay. But there were moments where I felt he should have had some physical reaction of some sort by using
Okay.
the stones. Like either winded, like he's like, okay, all right, guys. Or he's, something.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
that,
I do agree with that for sure.
I kind of just let that slide.
Yeah.
But they kind of, I don't think they really capitalized on it and like use it more because then it's like, oh, yep, you lost her. That's how it works. And it's like, okay, I get it, but I do agree with you guys. I think it should have been like
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
But anyway,
Continue. Yes.
we're having this, epic battle and then
Yeah.
Al-Anon helping because Al-Anon is always there.
He turned his back too much in that fight, though, I must say. Like
do
when
you-
he would do twirls around, except for the one hit where he like surprised the Dagmar.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
every time he twirled, I'm like, no, that's a horrible way when you fight. You shouldn't have your back to your enemy
Well, especially
ever.
because it's the Dagmar. It's not
Yeah,
like
that
it's
too.
some,
Yeah.
floating little demon.
That's like when they do roundhouse kicks and they like have their back, and you're like, no, that's actually really bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I did love. It was a good epic fight.
it was
Their
super
staffs
cool.
are like,
They're super cool.
Yeah.
And, they're both, one used to be a druid and, like, he's a druid. So it's just kind of like, battle of the druids.
oh, it's like Star Wars too, because it was a red for the bad guys
I
and
was
blue
gonna
for the
say,
good guys.
very
Did you
yeah.
hear like
That
when
one,
they were
yeah.
clinking? It was like lightsabers. That's what I was thinking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was getting lightsaber vibes.
Yeah.
Previous
Yeah.
episodes too.
Yeah, and even in this one, so like they actually, so Al-Anon kind of manages to distract, I guess, the Dagmar long enough for them to go into the sanctuary and get to the Ellcrys, but Kari, what do you want to say?
I love that the Dagmar closed the door for them. Did you guys notice? No, he's like,
oh,
the
yeah.
horde was about to come in, and Dagmar's like, hold up, close the door for you
Well,
guys.
I think it's like
He
a
didn't want his
personal
fight.
battle
Oh yeah,
for him.
I know.
too.
But it was just funny that they're all like worried, like, oh no, close the door. And Dagnor's like, don't worry, guys.
Sorry,
I got
guys.
you.
I'm gonna close this little
Yeah.
thing.
Anyway.
And you know, again, he's trying to use the elf stones, Will, and like trying, but it's like not really working. And then Alanon's in there, but he got pushed aside by the Dagdamor. And for a second, I thought we had lost him, but we
Of
didn't.
course not.
Of course not, because Alanon always comes back. And as Amberly is, you know, touching the Ellcrys so that she can go inside and disappear forever, she tells Will, you know, like
Like
that
their little
This is
conversation.
gonna happen.
this is gonna happen. Obviously, before the Dagdamor
I
comes
love
in.
how he
but-
cracks a joke then too.
Yes.
That was one
Did
of my
you
favorite
drop
parts.
the seed?
Don't tell me we've come this far.
And you dropped it? And I was like, sense the tone, Will.
Yes. No,
I'm
Well,
glad
more
someone
serious.
finally acknowledged the fact that it's a seed and you can drop it. Because
Yes.
remember how we were saying last week, like,
where did
what-
it go?
Yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
even seen it.
Where has it been?
Yeah.
And she's rolled around, like, around and, like, down
Stuff.
ravines,
Yeah.
like, you know, falling off cliffs, like, enough that we're like, hey.
Plus she like, you know, took
Must
off
have
her clothes and
Yeah.
Yeah, it must be very well tucked in or something. I don't know. But so as Will and Will and the Dagdamor are having this kind of like epic, you know, elf stones versus like magic
Ooh, then
kind
that was
of
kind of
battle.
like Harry Potter.
It was kind of like
That one was
totally
the
like
two
Harry
lights.
Potter.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of
But
like
Star Wars Harry Potter mesh.
Yeah.
Yes, very much using a lot of those like magic elements. But then Alanon off to the
Yes.
side, he whips out his. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He whips out his.
Don't be sorry.
I know he whips out his lightsaber golden sword thing, and it like.
Yeah, that's like a lightsaber too.
Yeah,
it's like,
it kind of does that thing, and then slices the head off the Dagdamor.
Yes. That was so good. That was definitely a yes moment.
It was
Yeah.
such an epic moment. I'm like,
Yeah.
he is the man.
Finally, this thing is dead.
I know,
Yes.
because I'm like, okay, like something's got to get. Well, granted, it was protected by its little bubble this whole time, but like now that it's out in the open, it's like we got to capitalize. But then, so Amberly is, you know, she goes into the Ellcrys, and we see the Ellcrys kind of like rematerialize, and then
Regenerate?
regenerate, yeah. Regenerate. Thank you, Carrie. I'm bad with the language today. And the leaves come back, and all the demons disappear. Which is great because that means they've succeeded in their mission.
And luckily haven't fought too long, so not too many people died.
Yeah.
Well,
so they didn't lose that
least,
many.
at least not that we know of, for sure.
They just lost the important people.
Yes.
Exactly. We didn't kill too many, but just the
Yeah.
important people. So then this is kind of, you know, we're at our end right here with the episode where Will decides to go off to look for Eritrea.
In no real hurry though.
What
Like
do you
he
mean?
wasn't like he wasn't a
yeah.
go.
She's stuck in there with trolls and
Like, packed up his stuff,
Could have
loaded
had
his
a bigger,
horse.
higher sense of urgency. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean,
Because he had that weird
Well,
pause at the top of the hill. Like they ran on the horse. He stopped. He looked out, and I'm like, oh, did he see someone? Pause, and no,
Or did he
didn't,
see
and then he just
something?
keeps going.
Wait
Yeah.
a minute. Did it feel kind of like, well, one love's gone. Let's just go get the other one.
Well-
because he waffled the whole time.
well, I
No,
feel
no.
like, I mean, if Amberly's
He said he was
gone,
going to go back. He stayed.
Yeah,
he's
he
pretty true to his
Yeah,
word.
he did say they were going to
Yeah.
come back for her or whatever, and yeah, but it's also like, well, I'm not going to lose another person that I love.
Yeah.
You know, if I can do, I'll do whatever I can.
It's like losing his mom. He can't lose somebody else.
Yeah, he's lost
Can't
several
lose
people.
another woman.
No, exactly. No ladies.
You know what I was thinking? It took them so long to get there, but then on the way back, they just had horses and they got back so fast.
Yes.
So, like, it must not take him very long now that he's on a horse to get back to her.
Well, now that he knows where it is, probably.
That too.
Yeah. So now it's like, okay, it's just a straight shot. So he goes off to find her, and then she's with the trolls. They kind of have captured her at this point, and yeah, she sees someone that she recognizes, but we don't know who.
Cephalus is still alive.
Cephalo's dead, yo.
Hang on.
Cephalo's dead.
He's been dead.
She was
He's been
surprised.
dead.
She's like, it's you.
It's you. I think. Okay, we'll get to
Well,
predictions in
yeah.
a second, but we'll talk about all that.
That was anybody? Yeah. What else?
What?
No, I was gonna say that was that the last
No.
kind of shot?
So
Oh, yeah.
here's the last thing, and this was so cool. And like Carrie kind of touched on this last time, and she totally got the predictions right.
You
but
know.
so then one of the last shots that we're left with is this kind of barren-ish land.
Oh yes, that shot.
And this figure, you know,
Yep.
walking up kind of over a little hill, you know, with this cloak that's all strappy and like clingy and like
I didn't see this. How did I not see this part?
No, you'll get to it.
You'll
You'll
get-
remember
you'll
it.
get-
You'll be like, oh yeah, that.
You were sitting right there with us. And then we have a shot on the demon sword. And then when that person turns around, it's Bandon.
I saw it was Bandon.
Oh, okay.
There
As
we
soon
go.
as I saw it, I know
What?
it was Bandon.
Veronica, you were there with us.
So apparently, killing Dagmar didn't free him.
No.
Bomb or
Yes, it's
Or-
almost like Lord Voldemort, you know what I'm saying? Like little when he was like destroyed, little pieces everywhere.
yeah, I was just gonna
you know?
say, or part of him transported
exactly,
and is
exactly.
alive in him.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're left with, which is crazy. That was such an intense episode, but now let's do predictions given that we're kind of at the end of this episode.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Do we predict there's a season 2? That's
So-
a prediction too.
I would say
We hope so.
Let's hope there's a season 2, please, because it was so
yes.
much fun. But let's just assume for issues and giggles that there is a season 2.
Yeah.
So who wants to start with some predictions?
I feel like you should start.
Yeah.
No,
You've
yeah, I
been
think
sitting
Sarah
on the
has
edge
to
of
do
your
one.
seat.
I've been very awake for this episode. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, Bandon is going to be our new bad guy.
Yeah.
Eritrea, it's Cephalo. I think Cephalo's alive. And has teamed up with the trolls somehow. Done some sort of deal. Because I don't know, the way she reacted, I'm like, I'm going to go on a limb and say it's Cephalo.
Okay.
Will find her. Will
Wait,
find
hold
her.
on. You're talking about Eritrea?
Eritrea, yeah. With the trolls, I think that's Cephalo.
Okay.
She's like, I got something else. Will find Eritrea and be like, oh good, you're alive. And they will continue their relationship, which I felt that was going to happen. Is Amberly gone or not? I think her form of how she was is gone, but that doesn't mean she can't come back in some other form.
Or I'll just scoop
Yeah,
you off
we'll go-
there.
yes, go
Or
for
it doesn't mean people can't go to her because she went to her, form.
True.
She, so perhaps it's just a portal.
Yeah.
Perhaps, Eritrea can do her little thing. Will can go in.
Or
Which brings
go
me
in
to
the tree.
my prediction.
You don't even have to do the thing. To go in the tree, you just go to the tree.
No. I
she
meant
meant the blood
portal.
fire.
The portals.
Oh.
Because
I thought
Amberly
you
kind
were
of
about the
walked
tree.
in and out, remember?
But even at the tree itself, you can go in. You don't even need
Really?
the portal. Yeah.
At the
Because
tree.
when you touch the tree,
At
the door opens.
Yeah, but it doesn't open for everyone.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
it
just
goes
like,
into that little dreamy world where we saw a double arrow.
But there could be
no,
more
no,
tree.
no. That is the blood fire.
Okay, see, that's what I'm talking about.
All right,
She's
blood
talking
fire
about the
one.
blood fire where
blood
she saw
fire.
herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eritrea gonna do her thing.
Okay.
Will's gonna go in to say his last goodbye or whatever. But this is way, way, way out on a limb here.
Okay.
She totally got pregnant, and he brings the baby back. And
Whoa. Okay.
Sure.
I mean, why not?
Then who's
That's-
who's
I
with the trolls of Eritrea? You had a reaction there.
I forget his name. The Western guy.
That was my other thought too.
Ty.
Ty.
Ty. Yeah.
Oh
hi,
my
I remember
god.
his name.
Okay.
That was my other thought.
Okay.
That it could be Ty.
I thought it could be him. Cephalo, he sacrificed himself. Great. We know he's a good guy. We're done with him.
Okay.
Ty, however,
That might be
should
a
struggle
possibility.
with that.
which
Sure.
brings, by the way, back to another love triangle if the series actually does go on because
Will, Ty, and
Okay,
Exactly.
This is getting into my prediction.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, my prediction is that they're gonna want her to be like the queen of the trolls.
All right.
And
She charms them.
yeah, maybe if it is the Western guy, whatever his name is,
Ty,
he will want her as his queen, and they will rule the trolls and do something and come back at the elves.
Okay.
So that's
Wait,
my
why
one
would they come back
prediction.
at the elves? They just joined them.
Well, the trolls don't like the elves, don't
Well, these trolls did. The ones that joined the elves.
Those are
they?
gnomes.
Those are
Oh,
gnomes.
gnomes. Okay, sorry.
There's so many creatures.
Yes,
I know,
I
it's so-
forgot
yeah.
that they were separate.
Yeah.
Okay, the trolls, yes.
Okay, so there's that, and then what else was I gonna say? Oh gosh. I think Will's gonna come back, and he's gonna learn how to use his powers because the druid is gonna teach him.
Very
He might be a bit crazy. He did lose the loves of his life. Yeah.
Because Alanon kind of seemed like a father figure in the end, where he's like, "I'm proud of you. Your father would be proud of you." So I think that he's gonna turn into a father figure and teach him how to use his powers.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Would be nice, except Alanon doesn't do anything by the book. He's just all like,
It would be nice if
because
Will
he's the
actually
man.
listens.
he's been like, yeah, I had the answers the whole time, and I made you go on that journey. Mm-hmm.
I knew everything.
Yeah.
So I knew that everything was going to work out. I didn't even have to worry.
Exactly. Exactly.
Whatevs. Okay, so I don't. Now that you guys brought Ty into the mix, I'm like, Totally a possibility. But I remember in one of the previous episodes that she talks about like one of her first captors or something like that. So that's who I thought it would be. I don't remember exactly.
Sure.
It's kind of vague in my memory, but that's what I thought. I think Amberly is not dead, and she's going to come back in some way, shape, or form. And I think she's going to be part of the second season because she's just like, it's like a trio. And Eritrea will be, fine. And I do think that, like, Al-Anon and Will definitely have some sort of teachable kind of, like, a duo going on, assuming he comes back. And Bandon will be our new, which seems pretty, Bandon will be our new
baddie.
New Dagda.
I was also going to say that Bandon is going to come back for his girl. He's going to come back for her.
Ooh, maybe try to
Steal her
into that. Ooh. All right. Well, unfortunately, that brings us to the end. The end of Shannara, the end of the season. It's all sorts of sadness. So, ladies, where can everybody find you now that we're ending this?
Well, since this show's ending, you actually can go find me on the after show for The Magicians. That one we still have a bit more to go. Also, you can find me online at Kari D. Lane on Twitter, Instagram, Kari Lane Actor on Facebook. Also, I do have on the Popcorn Network DVD drop where I tell you about upcoming DVD releases and give my own personal recommendations.
Nice. I need to find a new show. Now that this one is... I do. There's plenty. I mean, how many shows are there? At least...
There's lots, guys.
Lots and lots.
Oh, yeah.
But in the meantime, you can follow me at Heather G TV on Twitter and Instagram.
You can follow me at Veronica on TV. I just changed it on Twitter and Instagram, so it takes me a second to figure it out.
Don't worry, I mess it up every week.
Yes, Veronica on TV. That's where you can find me.
And you can find me at Maria Cavassuto on both Twitter and Instagram, and on Snapchat at MGCVSST. And I will actually be starting House of Cards next week with 3 dudes. It's the first time I've done a panel with 3 dudes. It's going to be very, very interesting. I love the show. Tune in if you like it.
Girl power.
Totally. I'm representing the ladies here. Somebody's got it in front of, Frank Underwood. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We have had so much fun doing this after show and reading your comments and interacting with you on Twitter and Instagram. And YouTube. Thank you so much for following us and watching us. Please like AfterBuzz, subscribe to AfterBuzz. Whatever has AfterBuzz, you follow, click, you like, and please check out. We have so many different shows, as you heard. Kari's on one, I'm on another one, and these 2 ladies will shortly be on something else. We all know that. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you for season 2.
Yes.
Peace out.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.